How's it going? I'm digital editor Gabe Whisnant, joined today by Elise Franco. We're going to talk a little bit about her Sunday story. We've talked a lot about downtown growth in the past year or more, and we'll continue to talk more about downtown growth as the weeks and months go along. One avenue and one story that we haven't necessarily explored as much is how religious communities and churches and congregations are adapting to the new growth of downtown, the influx of more residents downtown, and how that's affecting their congregations and how they're adapting to that. That's what Elise's story, obviously, Sunday is on. She focuses on three of the larger congregations downtown: First Baptist, Central United Methodist, and First Presbyterian. And like I said, it's an adaptation process, and you'll see that in Elise's story. And it's an adaptation process across the board. First of all, the physical side of that process. Talk a little bit about that.
It seemed in talking to all three of these churches that whether it is right now or in recent years, they've all kind of needed to expand physically. So Central United had a small empty lot behind the church, just kind of filled with weeds, and they decided to landscape it and kind of make it a little public park, public area for really anybody to hang out. They also want to construct an amphitheater, and they're considering talking to the city about putting in some of the city bike rentals, which is a really cool thing for anybody, really.
Right.
And First Baptist right now is working on upfitting the former Green Street Baptist Church to become their new mission outpost, and that also kind of plays into another one of the main topics of my story, which is the mission work.
Yeah, and go a little further on that. I mean, the church is all about, or churches are all about the mission, and how they can, get their word out and get this word of Scripture out to more people. How is that fitting into this equation?
Well, and the thing behind the mission meals, especially with First Presbyterian, is that when you think of growth and you think of an increase in population and growth of business, you don't necessarily think of a negative impact. And with more people coming in downtown and Spartanburg in general, hunger goes up, homelessness goes up, and First Presbyterian really recognized that. So they've been working on ministry meals. All three churches do ministry meals, and First Pres is also working on a homeless day center, which they hope to have open, I believe he said sometime next year, which is a great thing.
And kind of the final aspect, and if you're watching this video, you know the importance of the web and social media. Churches obviously know the importance of that too. How are maybe the changing strategies, or maybe beefing up those strategies on the web and social media for local churches?
They've all really embraced the social media aspect. Central United Methodist particularly, he kind of made a joke that he's not really good on a computer, and many people his age aren't, and that's true. And so they hired a communications person. First Presbyterians also hired a communications person, and that person will kind of be the point person out in the community. So it'll be internal and external communications using all types of social media. First Baptist has had a communications person in place for a while, and so they're kind of ahead of the curve in that respect. But they all use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and especially with the demographic that these churches are aiming to right now, which are the young professionals, people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s with growing families. Those are the people who use social media the most. They get their news on social media. It's just a part of their life, and it's integrated. So it's important for them to have recognized that and been able to integrate the social media into their mission.
Right. That'll wrap it up. Be sure to check out Elise's story in Sunday's edition. It'll be online sometime Saturday, and we'll of course have more on downtown growth as we go along. Thanks.